Bass 1 to the treble, the rhythm is the rebel. Hey folks, and welcome to yet another one of my little mini video things, just going up for your delight, for your pleasure, or for you to just like click, watch 1 second of, get fed up with, and move on. Anyway, this week, been a bit of a strange week for me, a bit of a hectic week. Now, some of you may already know that every Sunday night at 8 PM British Summertime, or GMT, depending on what time of the year we are, I run little Twitter chats called Movie Talk on Sunday, hashtag MTOS. Feel free to join in. We have a different topic every week. And this week, the topic questions were supplied by one of the regular contributors, Dennis Obi, and they were all around Tom Hanks. Now, unfortunately, due to personal reasons, I couldn't get involved in it. I scheduled all the questions to go out, but left them all to be like answered by everyone else and didn't get involved. Now, normally what I'd do is like, I'll look at it later in the week and then think about my answers and post out some answers. But I thought, you know, for something a little different, this week, I'm going to do it here on video. So this is a special hashtag MTOS T.Hanks for the memories. Top 3 Tom Hanks films. Oh man, narrowing this down was a nightmare. The guy's got such a back catalogue of films. Yeah, after a lot of thinking and juggling and writing out lists and then crossing ones off and then putting them back on because I didn't like removing them, I narrowed it down. I think I've got 6. So I'm going to say what the 6 are and I'll pick out the 3 from them. So I've got Big, I've got Forrest Gump, I've got Saving Private Ryan, I've got Toy Story. Well, put whatever Toy Story you want in there. Personally, I'd say Toy Story 2, still my favourite. Toy Story 3, very close second. But any of the Toy Story films. Castaway and Green Mile. Now, to pick out 3 from that narrowed down list of 6, do we go for, I don't know, Big? It's got the heart, it's got the warmth, and it's got a childlike imagination to it, and it's got some creepy stuff in there as well, when you think down in it. I'll throw Green Mile in there because I love me Stephen King, and it's a great adaptation of a great serialized Stephen King story. And I'm going to throw in Saving Private Ryan. I do like my war films, and whilst it does sag a little bit in the middle, there's enough in there to really pack an emotional punch and a core, and it's one of the best war films that you'll find. So there's me 3. Big, Private Ryan, and Green Mile. First Tom Hanks film that I ever saw. Looking back through all the list, and it was quite easy to work out. It was right close to the very start of him actually hitting the big time. It was the same year as Bachelor Party, but I was too young for Bachelor Party. No, it's Splash. I remember seeing that at the cinema when it came out. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoy the film. I've not watched it in recent years, but I have fond memories of it. Daryl Hannah. I have very fond memories of Daryl Hannah. Turner and Hooch is pretty low down on my lists. It's so low down that I kind of forgot that it existed until I was looking through the back catalogue to try and work out what films he's been in. Polar Express, I've got no love for. Oh, it's the animation. Yeah, it's impressive animation, but oh, it's just garbage. But then again, I don't have much love for a lot of Christmassy kind of films and films that everyone gets obsessed with around Christmas. I found most of them are banal. Polar Express is one of them. And I have no love for Dan Brown stories. I think that his writing style in his books is like the writing style that you'd expect in boys' own adventures aimed at 11 and 12-year-old schoolboys. And they didn't translate well to film either. Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons, Inferno, solid rot. The one film that sprung to mind on this one was Road to Perdition. The character has a darker edge to him, and it seems like a more gritty role than what up until that point he was known for. I'm sure he's been in others, but off the top of my head, Road to Perdition. So for awards oversight, I was quite surprised when I looked back that he never got a nod for Green Mile. Really surprised at that, because that is a solid role in a solid film. The film itself got some award nominations at the Oscars, but he wasn't mentioned in there. And Catch Me If You Can, very much overlooked. I think he was marvellous in that film. In fact, I think both him and DiCaprio were just playing against each other beautifully throughout that whole film. Who would I like Tom Hanks to work with? Guys, those of you who know me on MTOS know what my default answer is, and there's a clue on the wall just behind me. Wes Anderson. Why? Because Wes Anderson plays with expectations of castings. He uses people in great ways to play on their strengths and also draw out some hidden elements that you didn't know from them. And I'd love to see what he would do. We've seen Tom Hanks's like quirkiness in real life. You know, he's known for like photobombing people, you know, pulling little pranks and things like that. Imagine that kind of quirkiness in a Wes Anderson kind of film. And this is one of the reasons why I always pick Wes Anderson, because Wes Anderson's just great at utilising the quirky natures of everyone within the Hollywood circuit. I'd love to see what he'd do. So Hanks' strongest decade, when I looked through it, I worked out that the 90s was the defining era for him. It was in the 80s, there was a lot of the comedies, there was a lot of the family-friendly materials, but it was once he got to the 90s that he started to grow and expand. And with films like over the 90s, you had Apollo 13, Philadelphia, Forrest Gump, Saving Private Ryan, the Toy Story films, Green Mile, you know, a diverse range of types of films. And he grew his strength in every aspect that he could do through that. There's some great films in there, and Philadelphia, very much like a defining film within his career. For the post 2000s, for the ones that you got into more gritty roles, I've already spoken about it before. I've mentioned Road to Perdition. Such a film. Unappreciated films. Dragnet. I'm going to die on this hill that Dragnet is a fun comedy. I love the film. I loved it when it first came out. I revisited it about 10 years after it came out. Loved it. I revisited it again a couple of years later. Still really loving it. Dragnet, it got completely overlooked, lambasted, and thrown out when it came out. Great film. Nope, never seen it. Looked up about it. Might check out an episode at some point. Who knows? So, anyway, that's just my answers for this week's MTOS that took place last Sunday. If you ever want to take part in any of these MTOS chats, then, like I said, they take place at 8 p.m. UK time on Sundays, and the topics get released on the website, filmfile.uk, sometime Tuesday or Wednesday each week to give you a few days lead in to think about your answers. Feel free to sign up, subscribe, follow us on Twitter, comment below, all the usual gumph, share this stuff, and a big T.Hanks to Dennis Obi for the questions that he's been providing in recent weeks. Some great questions, some great topics, and see you next time, guys.